together. A friendship that's so strong it lasts forever. Despite these challenges and roadblocks in our way, I'll always have your back no matter what they say. So stand with me and face our final moment. Choose a choice to carry us on through this.
Welcome, everybody, to Choose a Choice, a role-playing game podcast. I'm the game master, Alton, and I'd like to introduce you to my brother, Jared.
Hi, I'm Jared. I'm going to be playing a hacked nursery aide called Janet Mark II. I am playing it as an android, so I don't have to breathe. I can't be frightened or shaken, and I can ignore one wound level, and I am immune to disease and poisons. I am also brawny, so I have +1 to toughness, which means that I am harder to hurt, and I also get +1 die type for strength when dealing with encumbrance or gear usage. I have the luck edge, which gives me an additional Benny at the start of each session, but I have the quirk hindrance. My major quirk is every encounter, I have to roll 1d6 to determine my operation mode. So as I said before, I'm a hacked nursery aide android. So if I roll lower than a 4, I'm going to be operating in nursery mode. And if I rolled 4 or greater, I'll be operating in my normal strategic AI, combat AI setting. I also have the wanted hindrance. So my android character was hacked to act as an assassin in a turf war between 2 crime syndicates. And being spotted by the opposing syndicate will always lead to conflict.
And just to be clear, android, not robot.
Yes, I may use the words interchangeably, but I recognize that they're not. I am truly an android.
I guess, can we clarify what that is? For a friend?
For a friend, yeah.
Let's look it up. Let's be real here.
Because like Lobot, right? Sorry, somebody whose name rhymes with robot, or sorry, no, GoBot, who is kind of a manservant to somebody whose name rhymes with Kando Laurisian. He's, what would he be considered? Like a cyborg?
Yeah, he's a cyborg.
Okay.
So, according to the internet, an android is a robot with human appearance.
Okay. So we're talking like man, I can't mention anything in pop culture.
No, you definitely can.
We're not Borg. We're talking like iRobot kind of stuff, or like Terminator.
I have never seen iRobot, but I would say that I'm probably visually not quite as advanced as the androids in Terminator, or I don't know if they're androids in Blade Runner, but like the
or like Mom from Umbrella Academy, right? She's an android.
Yeah,
that's a great android.
Oh yeah, she is.
So I'd say that I'm like the precursor to that level of android. So I'm still clearly like made of synthetic materials and like
you got like a pleather hide.
imagine like a mannequin, like how they look like a person but they're clearly not a person.
Yeah, kind of. We're talking like Uncanny Valley.
That's how I'm picturing my character.
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, how uncanny are you?
I would probably put myself at like a 7 or an 8 just because I'm I'm badly worn down. So I'll give you a little character description here. My character wears a badly worn pink apron that's like dirty and burned and like not really like good clothing anymore.
Can we get some bloodstains on there? I feel like that'd be apt.
And like a dirty, greasy wig that used to be blonde, but is now more of like a kind of a brown color. And I've got some parts of me that are like kind of ceramic coated looking flesh tone, but it's worn through to expose like metal underneath as well in places.
So yeah, like right now I'm imagining like kind of a 50s housewife looking, but also like messed up, shiny in some places, trash bot sort of thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Like 50s housewife gone wrong.
Basically. And I'm trained in athletics, common knowledge, notice, persuasion, stealth, repair, hacking, and shooting. And shooting is my best skill.
What kind of dice are we talking here?
D10.
Oof. All right.
I mean, like Janet Mark II was reprogrammed to be an assassin, right? So that makes sense.
I mean, it does. It's just, man, it's like we got a shooter on the team, you know? All right. I guess I'll go now. So I got Quest Jenkins. Apparently, we're going to stick with a theme of having a non-name for the first name and then a regular name for the second between Berkeley and I. I just have always wanted to play somebody that is like someone very similarly named to Kando Laurisian. I really like that kind of acts like they know what they're doing, but kind of doesn't, but kind of does, and just kind of happens to squeak out of everything. So I built this character to be pretty interesting. He has a horrible combat ability. Well, I'll just run through the character sheet. So I've got pretty good agility. I've got pretty dang good smarts, pretty dang good spirit, and then strength and vigor are a little below average. And then as far as skills, I've got some piloting, just a little bit. Decent at shooting, decent at stealth, decent at thievery. Really good at gambling, really good at notice, really good at repairs, and really good at persuasion. And then I've got a couple hindrances. I'm overconfident, and I've got enemies around, of course, because I've been gambling and doing jobs that aren't necessarily legal against all sorts of people. Kind of a highest payer wins. And then I've got the edges of charismatic, because I'm likable, you know. So got my space cape on. I'm good to go. And I've also got lucky, just because I felt that fit my character pretty well. So as far as Quest Jenkins is concerned, really he's got the nice kind of space cape look. He's got a little fanny pack on, and I'm imagining kind of like a slimmer Magnum PI look to him. He's got the mustache and the perfectly coiffed hair. And he's just rolling around the galaxy. He grew up on the streets, learned to make his living in unorthodox ways. He's gambling, doing anything he could to get ahead, and he's a first-rate weasel. And now he's on the job, looking for a way to improve his enterprises. And he won some work in a gambling match that was pretty high paying. He was supposed to be delivering some stuff, and now the plans have changed.
I'm Berkeley. I'm going to be playing Sketch Thompson, an intrepid young human boy who recently completed his 2-week adventure training program and is just really excited to test his new skills.
How old are we talking? Are we talking like...
I was thinking 14 years old.
Starting him young. Okay.
Yeah, gotta hit the ground running in life. I'll start with my hindrances. So I took young, small, and slow, which maybe was not a wise combination, but I'm just going for interesting roleplay. So young meant I had fewer attribute and skill advancements, but I get an extra Benny each session. Small decreased my toughness. Slow decreased my running die. The reason for slow is Sketch Thompson has like a metal peg leg that was supposed to be really cool in like spring-loaded telescoping, helps him run faster, except his is broken, and so it just makes him run slower. And then for my last hindrance, I want to talk to you about this, Alton. I took delusional. I want him to be really into like some sort of conspiracy theory or maybe mythical creature. So like maybe this world's equivalent of a Sasquatch or something like that.
Mhm.
Not that
Yeah.
Sasquatch is mythical.
Yeah,
you
like
know,
a
but-
like a brass brooch, something like that.
I'm not comfortable with you saying brooch over the airwaves.
Hey kid,
so
you wanna buy a brooch?
Bratwurst? Isn't that like a kind of a weird sausage?
I'm about to just throw my headphones on the floor and go wash my
You wanna
ears.
see my bratwurst? It's kind of a weird sausage.
Let's not. So Berkeley, about that Sasquatch type character, I think that's super cool. Alton, what's the canon like in this universe? Can you recommend something, or Berkeley, did you have something?
I did not. I wanted to hear what Alton, as the world master builder, had to say.
So
Do you master build
they're
on?
yeah. Only when I'm alone.
Makes sense.
So in making this world, so I'll give you a little bit of a summary. Well, after Megan goes, then I'll give you a little bit of a summary of like background information about the world that all of you guys would know. And that'll make things a little clearer. And then Sketch Thompson, we can figure out something that that maybe is a little bit maybe that you don't necessarily know whether it's real. I mean, obviously Sketch knows for sure that this thing is real, but the rest of most of everybody else is not really convinced. Kind of like Elvis being dead. Most people realize that he's dead, but some people are like still holding on to the fact that Elvis might be alive.
So Alton, are you saying like in this world that there's definitive proof, like we know factually Elvis is dead, but some people choose not to believe that? Is that what you're going for here? Or is it like there's not definitive proof that it doesn't exist, but there's also not proof that it does?
That second one is more what I'm talking about.
Okay.
By this world, I was talking about the real world where Elvis is allegedly dead.
I've never seen his body.
You know, to be fair, neither have I. I'm pretty sure somebody else has.
So the Synderance is called delusional. So even if there is something with definitive proof, we could go like a birds aren't real direction. If there's something that's patently true, and
Or maybe he voted for Trump.
doesn't believe in it. Oh yeah,
No, that's
the ultimate delusion.
That's the distant past in this setting. Like whether he did or didn't, he wasn't alive at the time. So
Good to know that
just
humanity
whenever the
survived.
most recent election was, that's when Sketch.
well, you're not even on Earth anymore. So yeah, we'll get to that.
Man.
Democracy isn't really a thing.
Hey, I just want to say right now, there's going to be spoilers coming up. Like we're not on Earth anymore.
So if you aren't like up to date with the podcast,
Yeah, you're not in Kansas anymore either. Not only are you not on Earth, you're also not in Kansas.
Is the music of Kansas in this universe?
I mean, yes, but it's
Carry
like
on
old.
my wayward android. Okay, so you're gonna give Berkeley something, but you haven't decided what.
Yeah, I haven't decided what because I didn't know that was a thing. We'll work together
sorry,
and figure
sorry
out
to
what
put
that
you on
is.
the spot.
No. I don't feel put on the spot at all. This is part of making a good campaign.
This is part of master building.
I'm talking about like the Lego movie master building, just so we're all clear, all on the same page.
That's what everyone else was talking about. I don't know.
Okay, I just
Why? How would there be any doubt there?
But I don't.
What else would it be?
Yeah, I get home,
Yeah, Jonathan. What else? Would
pull
it be,
out my bin of
Jonathan?
Legos, and just start master building furiously. And
Oh,
build
boy.
pirate ships, spaceships. Yeah,
Masterfully.
masterfully.
Okay, Berkeley, did you have more to share with us?
Yeah, so that was the weaknesses part. Sketch also has non-weaknesses about him.
Okay.
All of this is getting edited out.
Not to brag.
Throw away that chunk of time.
So for edges, I took luck, as has everyone else so far. So that's cool.
Man, you guys are all lucky. Okay.
Original.
Yeah. And then trademark weapon. So I've got a police revolver. I don't remember what benefits that gives me, but
What's the
that sounds
legality of
cool.
that?
Favored. So I took a police revolver and a billy club. I'm gonna have to come up with a good reason why.
If you're not
but
wearing a British constable hat, pretty sure
Maybe
that's
that's the
I like
delusion.
Maybe that's the delusion.
You think you're a
Sketch
cop?
Thompson believes that he is law enforcement.
He went into an empty room with a homeless man once and was told it was police academy. And now he has a little sticker police badge.
Oh man.
that got kind of dark.
Okay, as far as skills, I'm good at shooting, not as good as Janet over here. I got a D8 in that. So because I'm young, I'm not very good at a lot of things, but I've got decent agility, decent shooting. I took skills in academics, electronics, hacking, and the occult. Also don't know how that's going to come in, but I'm
That's
sure
awesome.
it will.
It's part of the superstition.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's my character.
And I'm Megan. I play Sienna Bellingham, who is a spoiled little rich girl who has run away from her home so that she can actually do something with her life instead of just taking over for her father's company. All right. So Sienna is also young-ish, but she's 19, I will say. I don't know. And so for my hindrances, I took impulsive, stubborn, and wanted. Impulsive and stubborn because I have been given everything I ever wanted in life, thank you to my rich parents. Impulsive because I want to disappoint them, just as a payback. And then wanted because I have run away from home and they do not want me to run away from home. So they are on the lookout for me, not like intensely looking, because they're also enjoying the brief reprieve without me, but they also kind of want me back.
I imagine that it's similar to like the parents of a blind character whose name rhymes with Doff.
Yes, actually very
We actually
similar to
talked
that.
about that when we were
We
making
did talk about
characters,
that,
yeah.
yes.
We said specifically a blind character whose name rhymes with Doff.
Yes. So basically like that, aged up a
We
bit.
didn't have one in mind. We just felt like
That was
Like if
that was the gut
there was a
feel.
Some
blind
blind
character
character.
whose name
If there
rhymed with
were-
Doff, she
Right,
would probably they would probably have parents.
That would be similar to, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Similar to Sienna Bellingham's parents. I gotcha.
Very similar, yeah. As far as edges go, I also took trademark weapon, so I just have +1 to shooting. I have a Colt 45, and I also have the attractive edge. Yeah, basically my whole aim in creating her was I wanted to create a rogue that didn't have like a street urchin backstory, and
Respect.
instead had the
Can't relate.
rich girl backstory. So she is very roguelike in her skills and abilities and everything, but she learned how to do all of those things because she was running and hiding through a mansion, causing mischief, stealing stuff, not because she needs it, but because she needs to rebel somehow.
Awesome.
Oh, and as far as skills go, I have driving, intimidation, piloting, taunt, thievery, and shooting, with my best being shooting and stealth.
At what dice level?
D8 for both.
Dang. Okay, yeah, you guys are going to be dangerous in combat. All right, so some facts about the world that you're living in that you guys would all probably know. You're living on the planet Edenia. It's one of the planets that was colonized by humans after the Earth ran out of, great opportunities for everybody. So they sent a bunch of people off into the stars to colonize other worlds. and Edenia is one of those worlds. You guys are from the city or in the city of New Francisco, which is like New Francisco is basically owned by 3 different corporations: Suncorp, Photonid. I have notes here. Basically, three big mega corporations that run pretty much everything in the city, and everything that they don't cover, the syndicates and gangs do. You guys would know about, all of that. You guys would know the main like kinds of sentient beings that you would run across: androids, humans. AIs are kind of a newer thing that you can run across, but they're not like on their own, really. They're very strictly, tightly managed by corporations. And then the Edenians, which are they're kind of like people, but they're amphibious. Not like mermaids, but more like salamanders or something like that. And they tend to spend a lot of time close to the water or in the water because they are amphibious and they have to stay moist.
That's disgusting.
Do you know, like,
And
Just a
they-
different
word?
culture.
I hate it.
They're also looked down on by most of society.
Oh, good.
Additionally, zombies do exist in this universe and are a fairly common problem.
Like raccoons? Like where they cause problems, but like you live with them anyway?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, raccoons and zombies, they're not much different. Except
Vendor
raccoons
garbage.
raccoons don't exist on Edenia, allegedly.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's
a
good.
relief.
I have the talking stick.
All right. With that taken care of, welcome to Nullsec Folly. That's the name that I've decided that this campaign is going to temporarily be called until we can think of a better one.
I love it.
I think it's great.
I don't think we'll find a better one.
All right. Janet, Quest, Sketch, and Sienna, you are all at the Safe House. This is a sort of motel run for bounty hunters, mercenaries, and other contract-style employees. Your mysterious employer that enlisted each of your help gave instructions to meet the rest of your team here, and that further details would be made clear once you arrived. The room you're in is a fairly run-down-looking cube. In one corner, the bathroom with its leaky showerhead is dripping slowly. In the other corner, 4 empty dream stations are stacked like bunk beds, each with its own connection to the network. The 4 of you are seated around a small table in the center of the room, which has a holographic display built into the center. There are a variety of snacks and drinks on the table. Once you're all done with your introductions, then we can see what happens.
I grab a future Coke.
As soon as Quest grabs the Coca-Cola off the table, it triggers the holographic display to turn on. And as it turns on, you see a message, which is presumably from your mysterious employer, which says, Lower Tube Station 3, Locker 573.
Well, I guess that means we better get going.
Guess so.
Hi, everybody. I'm Janet.
Are you sure you're on this job, Janet?
I am operating within established parameters.
Okay. What about you, kid? You're pretty young to be on a bounty.
Yeah, I know I'm pretty young, but I'm really excited to join you guys. Hope that's okay.
I will take care of you.
my.
Like kill me? What kind of take care of are you
Okay,
talking
I'm gonna
about?
roll my dice to see if I'm operating in nursery aid mode or
Oh no.
normal combat mode. Combat mode.
Hey, I don't want any trouble. I'm sorry.
I don't. Sorry, you're not on my list of targets at this time.
Oh, okay. That's good,
At
right?
this time,
And
Yikes.
what about you, young lady? Why Why are you in a place like this?
Oh, just wanted a change of scenery.
Okay, well, I don't ask too many questions, but
Good.
I'm gonna head out. You guys coming?
Says the man asking the most questions. Okay, I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna. Is there like a future granola bar?
Yes.
I'm gonna grab one and I'm gonna put it inside my bottle warming compartment.
Okay. You're going to have a future granola bar with very melted chocolate chips.
Do you eat? Is that your stomach?
No, I don't need to eat. I have a bottle warming compartment that I store various things in and then try to feed people whatever I can grab out of it.
Okay.
So right now it holds my revolver and a slowly melting granola bar.
I think just statistically, the more food you stuff in there, the better it's going to work out when you try to feed someone.
Please don't feed someone with a gun. Or maybe do. I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
Is there any, is it all age appropriate drinks for teens, or is it there like anything stronger on the table?
Interestingly, there are no alcoholic beverages or any of the substances that would be otherwise considered illicit by today's standards.
All right, interesting. I'll grab a water bottle and head out.
Well, I leave the room.
As soon as Sienna grabs that water bottle and stands up from the table, since everyone else had already stood up and started following Quest out the door, the message changes and flickers for a moment. And I want you all to roll
I
noticing.
got a 10.
5.
You got a 3.
5.
Okay. Quest, even though you weren't looking at the screen, you look back just as Sienna is starting to like stand up and leave the table, and you see displayed on the screen, when you're done, find Salamander Subterranean 48. Don't get caught. For only a few seconds on the screen, and then the entire hologram screen deactivates. All right. So you guys head out the door towards the tube station.
Janet Mark II is going to look around and say, "Did anybody drive?"
No, I'm 14.
And yet you carry a weapon.
An astute observation, to be sure.
Don't make me walk all the way there.
I'm sure if there's a car around here somewhere, we could hop in, right?
Stealing is acceptable.
How far is Lower Tube Station 3, Elton?
Lower Tube Station 3. So the route there is not very far, even by foot.
So Janet's dumb lazy is what we're learning.
But Janet may be trying to conserve energy for some unknown task.
Well, by the time you get a car, I'll see you down there. I walk in the direction of Subterranean Station 3.
Great.
Yeah, I'm going to follow Quest.
If you want to find a car robot, that's up to you, but that's going to take me too long.
Fine. And I turn and follow them.
All right. Well, as you guys walk, you're looking around at the scenery, and on your way there, you can see that the New Francisco kind of way of life is well represented by the things that you see along the way. Earth age technology is intermingled with newer things, and variously flying cars, wheeled motorcycles, humans, cyborgs, androids, and even a few Adenians can be seen going about whatever their business here is. Some people seem to keep to the shadows, while others are careful to stay where they are easily observable. Neon signs and holograms advertise new dream stations, cybernetics, and quick fixes for issues common to the ailment of sentience. Security cameras seem to be everywhere, but it isn't immediately clear which of them are really working. Simple robots can be seen collecting trash that is strewn around the streets, tucking it out of sight into alleys or burning it, depending on the tools that they've been built with. Guards from different security firms stand near doorways with rifles and heavy body armor, ready for any mischief. No matter what, it seems everyone regards each other with a wary eye. As you guys approach the station, you see that it is fairly crowded. People are waiting at the boarding platform, merchants and beggars are bustling for attention, and some Sunrise Corporation guards are keeping an eye out for signs of trouble.
I'm going to duck behind Quest so that I am kind of hidden.
Okay. Can you roll for stealth, Sienna?
4.
Okay. So the guard that you're aware of, he doesn't notice you.
Okay.
I'm strolling very large and confidently in, space cape trailing behind me.
Kind of whapping me in the face, actually.
And, I've got some swagger to my stuff. And I'm going to go find those lockers. Where's the nearest self-help, or not self-help desk, but public transit help desk?
So interestingly, the public transit help desk and the self-help desk are right next to each other, and they're easy to confuse one with the other. One of them deals mostly with, self-improvement, though, not the cybernetic kind, but just like general, like make yourself a better person without cutting off any limbs. And then the other desk is more about, how to get around the subway. So, I'll need you to roll notice to figure out which is which.
All right. That's a 2.
So, unfortunately, you end up at the wrong help desk, and the lady there is trying to convince you that you should probably shave your mustache.
Well, lady, I gotta say, the mustache makes the man, and I don't know how else I can convince you of that, other than this little 3-page pamphlet here. Let me talk to you about the more in-depth parts of a man's mustache. I'd like to roll persuasion.
Okay, go ahead and roll persuasion. She's going to actually resist. Okay, what'd you get?
That is 14 plus 2 charisma, 16.
She's got an entirely new worldview. She realizes that everyone, not just men, need mustaches. And she immediately starts researching a way of growing hair on her upper lip. Luckily, Gematech has just such a product that they've been advertising.
Well, anyways, lady, it's always a pleasure to help you understand new horizons. I'll see you around.
Okay, while he is touting mustaches, I think I'm going to notice that that's not the desk we want. Maybe I'll go for it, but I'm going to move on to the desk next to it.
Okay.
And just ask where the lockers are.
For the record, while Quest was talking, Sketch was writing everything he said down in a notebook.
I'm taking notes. Okay, my mustache makes the man. So Sienna, you don't have to roll for it. You realize as soon as Quest starts talking about mustaches that he's at the wrong place. So you go to the one next door, and the robot there. When you ask the robot about the lockers, it doesn't even answer with words. It just like points its hand out the window to kind of behind you and to the left. There you see like rows and rows of 3-foot high lockers, too tall.
Oh, thanks. I'm going to head off in the direction of the lockers.
I'm going to follow Sienna, but I'd like to make a notice roll to see if there's any unusual activity going on, anything that would stand out in a busy environment like this.
Okay.
That's a 5.
So you do notice that there is a bit of security around, both what look to be like surveillance cameras as well as armed guards. Sunrise Corp seems to be keeping this subway platform secure and making sure that no damage to company property occurs. Other than that, you don't see anything out of the ordinary or that seems particularly dangerous.
Okay. So I'm going to follow Sienna towards the locker.
I'm going to roll notice to see if I, in the middle of my mustache conversation, realize that they've found what's happening and I need to go follow them.
Okay.
All right, that's a 5. No, a 6.
Okay, yeah. With a 6, I'll give it to you.
I flick one curl out of my face and say, "Have a nice day, lady." And then I follow after Sienna and Janet.
She fails to resist your charm and actually faints dead away from how handsome and convincing you were.
I don't even notice. I'm already on to the next thing.
Very dashing.
All right, so you guys are at the lockers.
I'm looking for 573, I guess.
Would the 4 of you roll? Let me see which stat I want you to roll. Hang on.
Is it shooting?
No, please don't roll shooting.
So, anybody have a combination here?
Did they give us a key?
Looking back to your time at the Safe House Motel, you don't remember there being a key. You have your room key, but that's not the same as a locker key.
And these are locker keys, not combination lockers?
Yeah, these are key lockers.
Well, if we can find the right one, I'm probably going to try to open it, even without a key.
What are you going to use to try and open it?
My hand, just see if it's unlocked.
Oh, okay. We can
Oh,
just-
you're not going to try key hand like Jake, the dog? Okay, I would like to do notice check to see if I can find that locker. Exploded again. That's 9.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I think you got it.
It's over here, and I point at it and start walking that way.
I follow suit.
All right. So once you get there, it's locked.
Drat.
Well,
As happens to be the case with many lockers, it is definitely locked.
that is why I come prepared. I pull out my lock-picking kit
Ooh.
and start picking.
As this is happening, I'm going to try to stand between him and the nearest security.
Okay. Great. So Quest, I need you to roll a stealing or lockpicking skill to kind of figure out about what the lock is like that you're trying to pick.
Okay, so there's no lock-picking skill. I do have well, if you want it to be like looking at the lock, I have notice, and if you want it to be about thievery, I do have thievery.
Do thievery.
Okay. All right, that's a 4.
Okay, so by looking at this lock, you can tell that it's meant to be pretty secure. It's surprisingly secure for, what's just a subway station locker. And it looks like it's going to take up to 6 separate tumblers for you to be able to actually get this locker open. And Janet, I want you to roll notice.
Okay. Exploded 7.
So Janet, you can tell that that the group of you over by the lockers is drawing a little bit of attention from the guards. They're not approaching yet, but they do seem to be on alert.
Okay, I am going to reach into my bottle warming compartment and pull out the granola bar.
Okay.
And then I'm going to start walking towards the nearest security personnel.
Okay.
And as I approach them, I'm going to roll to see if I can enter my nursery aid mode.
All right.
Success, a 1.
Excellent.
And I'm going to walk up to him and I'm going to say, "Hey there, are you hungry? Would you like a snack? I made this just for you."
It's
So the security guard looks at the granola bar. So I want to know, did Janet unwrap the granola bar and just stick the actual granola bar into the bottle warming compartment, or is it like still in its wrapper?
It's still in its wrapper.
So the guard looks at it and recognizes that it's still in the wrapper and gives Janet a really weird look, and he's like, no, you didn't make that just for me. It's still in its wrapper.
I'd like to roll persuasion, please.
You're welcome to roll persuasion, but I don't think that the guard is going to be convinced that you made it just because you're insisting that you did.
Explosion. It's a 7.
The guard.
Hey, let me roleplay this out. Hang on.
Okay.
"I'm sorry, dear. I really did make it just for you. Look how delicious and chocolatey it seems." I squish it a little bit.
Look, I don't want any trouble. Can you just go back to the family you're supposed to be taking care of?
"You are my family. Try the granola bar. Try it." And then I'm going to hold it towards his face a little bit.
Look, Android, I'm going to need you to stand down and mind your own business.
Do I notice any of this going on?
Roll notice.
Okay.
Please be high.
2.
Oh.
Okay, so you don't not notice it going on, but you're not. It doesn't seem crazy, if that makes sense. Like it just seems like Janet is over there talking to the guard.
Then I guess I have no reason to go over there.
Meanwhile, Quest, I want you to roll stealth and theft.
All right.
Stealth first.
I'll take a Benny on that one. What do I need to do to use a Benny?
So if you didn't like the roll that you got, you can just spend your Benny and re-roll it.
Okay, I do that. Oh, the same roll. I got a 2 on stealth and a 6. 10 or 11 on thievery.
Nice. Okay. So you've successfully opened 2 of the tumblers on the lock. But you see not the guard that Janet is by, but a separate guard seems to notice what you're doing and begins to approach at a pretty rapid walk.
I roll for stealth and thievery again.
Do Sienna and Sketch want to do anything about this approaching guard?
Yeah, Sketch probably, I should have said he was looking out the warn quest, but I didn't say that, so I'm not going to on that. But he's going to walk up to the guard and start saying, "Does this guard have a mustache by chance?"
You can't tell. So this guard has like a full face helmet that's emblazoned with sort of this sunrise logo, and you can't see the guard's face at all. It's unclear if it's even a human.
Okay, I'm not going to try to leverage mustaches then. I'll just walk up to the guard and say, "Excuse me, sir, I lost my parents. Have you seen them?"
What do they look like?
Wait, we have to roll for convincing.
Yeah, let me see here.
Is that just persuasion or is there a deception skill?
Yeah, I think it's just persuasion.
Yeah, go ahead and roll persuasion. Or whichever skill you feel fits it better.
Okay. I got a 5 on persuasion.
Okay. He's gonna resist that with. Okay. Yeah. He buys into it. He's like, I haven't seen your parents. What do they look like?
They're tall and they're wearing jackets. I'm trying to be deceptively vague so he doesn't want to engage.
Kid, I hate to tell you this, but that's not a lot to go on. There's a lot of taller people than you are that are wearing jackets.
Oh,
Do you have
that's
any
true.
other?
My dad has a
You know they're-
mustache.
Do you,
Oh no.
is that your father behind you in the space cape?
No, my dad doesn't wear a space cape. He's lame. Not like that guy. I think they went over there, and I'm just going to point in the opposite direction of Quest.
I need you to roll persuasion again.
That one's a 4.
Unfortunately, the guard is not convinced and begins kind of trying to push past you towards Quest Jenkins. At this point, Quest, I need you.
Yeah, I'd like to
need
roll
to
if
know
I notice this.
Yeah.
I was being obnoxiously loud, hoping that he would notice.
I think I should also maybe roll for that one more time.
Go ahead.
All right, I got a 10 for notice.
I got
Okay, Quest,
5.
you definitely can tell that guards are on the alert and that they can see that you are up to something.
Is the guard walking towards me right now?
Yes.
How close is he?
He's probably 20 yards.
All right.
I mean, he's not that close, but he's
I'd like to roll for thievery and stealth again.
Yeah, please do that.
All right, I got a 5 for stealth and a 10 for thievery.
Okay, you do get another 2 of the tumblers open, so you only have 2 left. With a 5 on stealth, you're able to kind of screen what you're doing with your body, but it's still obvious that you're doing something.
Okay. Space cape coming in clutch. How close is the guard now?
He's at about 15 yards.
Oh.
Megan, what was the result of your roll?
Is it 5?
Okay, so with a 5, Sienna can tell that negotiations between Janet and the other guard aren't going particularly great, and that guard is starting to get a little agitated at Janet's insistence. You also notice the other guard approaching from the opposite direction that has just brushed past Sketch Thompson, and I imagine Sketch, I don't know, I'm not going to make this decision for you, Sketch, but I would imagine, given what you were trying to do, that you're kind of tagging along with the guard and still trying to bother him.
Yeah, and I'm getting louder to help other people notice. No, please, sir, please help.
Okay, I am going to walk up to Sketch and be like, "Oh my goodness, there you are. Where have you been? Sir, thank you so much for finding my little brother. He is such a pain in my butt. I lose him every time. My parents are going to kill me if I didn't find him, so I'm so glad you found him. Oh, this is such a relief." And then I'm going to grab Sketch by the ear.
Go ahead and roll persuasion, Sienna.
It's a 12.
Okay, so the guard is convinced that Sketch wasn't just pretending to be lost, but was actually lost, and kind of visibly relaxes because he was approaching the group because he had seen Sketch with that group, and wasn't fully buying his lost story. So now the guard is a little bit more relaxed, but he stays where he is, and he's not looking at Quest anymore, but he is still pretty close by.
Okay, Sketch is going to pull something else out of his sleeve and say, "Oh, gee, sir, I've always wanted to be a guard like you. How do you do that?"
It's true. He talks about it all the time. Won't shut up about it sometimes.
I mean, I was hired by the Sunrise Corporation. They're awesome bosses. They gave me armor and a gun and told me to come down here and shoot anyone that looked suspicious. And so that's what I do.
Wow, you sound really brave.
But are you doing like CrossFit? You doing protein drinks? Like what's your schedule like?
Well, I work, and then when I go home, I log into my dream station.
You
So,
don't like exercise for this?
why would I need to exercise when I have muscle stimulating implants?
Oh, see, yeah, that's the kind of thing I was asking about. I didn't know about muscle stimulating. What'd you say?
Implants. They're
What,
just
implants? You just get them put in you?
yeah. I mean,
Wow.
like everybody's doing it. You just go to one of the chop doctors, and they just put it. I mean, you have a friggin' metal peg leg. I would imagine that you have some experience with this.
Well, don't you think I would have taken an implant over a peg leg if I'd known about it?
I mean, it's none of my business.
Next episode, Sketch is going to be like super, super jacked from all the implants he's getting.
Yeah, with what?
Next episode, Sketch has roid rage.
That's a thing. It's called cyborg psychosis, and it's a total thing.
Wow, that's exciting. I hope that comes up. And did you just like apply for this job and they gave it to you? Was it pretty competitive?
I mean, what are you on about anyway?
I need some action items here on how to become a guard. All you've told me is that you got a gun.
I'm sorry, sir.
Listen, kid, just let me do my job, okay?
No, I
could get
also want
fired.
to do your job.
Sketch. Don't bother the nice man with his big muscles. Let's just.
I'd like to roll to see if I notice this happening.
While you're trying to feed the other guard a granola bar, first I'd like you to roll to see how that's going.
Okay, sounds good. What is that?
Let's go with persuasion one more time.
Okay. Explosion. That's going to be 13.
The guard's like, you know what? Fine. If this fixes whatever malfunction you're going through, I'll eat the stupid granola bar. He snatches it out of your hand, unwraps it, and downs it in one gulp. He then chokes a little bit, but then recovers.
Does he get the little choking tear kind of thing going on?
Yeah. I mean, you can't tell because he's got his full face helmet on, but
Okay.
but you can tell that he's struggling a little bit. He coughs, and the mouth, the mouth part of the helmet isn't covered up, and he's he coughs and grabs his throat, but then he's regains his composure.
I'm going to go, delicious. And then I'm going to turn around and roll. Well, before I turn around, let me retcon that. I'm going to say, delicious. And then I'm going to roll to see if I notice what's going on.
Okay.
Over there.
Out of curiosity, are you going to take the wrapper back and put it back in your joke warming compartment?
Is he still holding the wrapper? Did he drop it?
He threw it on the ground.
Okay. So let me finish my roll. That's going to be 10.
Okay, yeah. Janet knows that something's up with the other guard as well.
Okay. I'm going to say, ooh, bad boy, don't litter. And then I'm going to bend down and try to pick up the wrapper, but also I'm going to try to bump into him clumsily.
Okay. Go ahead and roll agility for the bumping.
7 here.
Yeah, so you do bump into him, and the guard is now on full alert, and he's convinced that you're malfunctioning and need to be deactivated. So he switches his weapon, which is a taser style pistol. He switches it to electronic overload for anti-android, and begins to take aim.
Okay, I'm going to say, play nice. And then I'm going to reach into my warming compartment to drop the wrapper. And then as I stand up, how close am I to him? I'm like right next to him, basically.
You're like right next to him, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to produce my revolver. And I'm going to, with my other hand, I don't know if I can do this, so let me know if this is too much, but I'm going to try to hit his gun out of his hand.
So you're not going to be able to do that before the combat starts.
Okay.
Because you don't have him like, he's not vulnerable or unaware. So you're not going to get like a surprise round. So
okay.
So as
out
soon
of character, I just want to state that my intention here is to create a big scene so that you guys can finish what you're doing, not necessarily to get you guys involved in a big fight with all the guards.
I mean, we're all pretty good at shooting.
That's true. We do have some good shooting. It's optional if you want to join me. I don't want you to feel like you have to jump into this Lego Star Wars style bar fight.
I always jump into Lego Star Wars style bar fights.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and deal out the cards.
I only jump in if I can make the Yoda dying sound.
Literally best sound effect ever. Jared, since you started the combat, I'm going to deal you the first card, the guard, the second one. Quest, since you're the next closest, you're going to get the third card.
Okay.
And then Sienna, and then Sketch. Okay. Oh man. Janet, you got a 2 of spades.
Oof.
The guard gets a 7 of clubs. Quest, Jenkins, you got a joker, which means you can go at any time, even interrupting someone else's turn. And you get +2 to all rolls this round of combat. And no, that's it.
I get +2 to all rolls this combat.
This round of combat.
Does everyone get a Benny?
And yeah, everybody gets a Benny because there was a joker.
Oh, wild.
Sweet.
Sienna, you got a 5 of clubs. And Sketch Thompson, you got a 7 of spades. So it looks like unless Quest, unless you want to go first, it looks like the guard's going to go first.
I do want to go first.
Okay.
I'm going to roll to open that locker.
All right.
I assume I don't have to do stealth anymore, though.
No.
All right.
No. Roll theft.
6. It's an 8.
That'll do it. That gets the that'll get the last 2 tumblers open, and with that the locker pops open, and within you see this little, it looks like a ring box, almost like somebody would use to propose with.
Aww.
Anything else in there?
It's just that.
Okay, I take that and open it.
Inside you see a tiny little memory drive that looks like it would fit into a dream system bed or into a any kind of hologram projector as well.
Cool. I close it and put it in my fanny pack. That's the end of my turn for this combat.
Okay.
Beautiful.
I also wipe the sweat off my mustache.
It was very sweaty.
The worst thing I've ever heard.
Now the guard is going to go. The guard rolls to fire at Janet because he saw that Janet is armed. He rolls a 5, but because he's in close combat, I need to know Janet's parry.
2.
Okay, so he does beat the parry, and now he's going to roll damage. All right, what's Janet's toughness?
6.
So it looks like he succeeds in damaging Janice by 1 wound.
Okay.
All right, that's that guard. The other guard hears the blast of the discharge and turns around to see what's going on and draws his weapon and starts approaching, but does not fire yet. Okay, with that, it is Sketch Thompson's turn.
Sketch is a little nervous he's never killed before, so instead of just going straight to the gun, I'm going to try to jump on the guard next to me and try to take his gun from his hand.
Okay. I need you to. This is going to be a contested strength roll, so I'm going to need you to roll your strength against the guard's strength.
I got an 8.
Okay, you succeed in getting on the guard and managing to grab the gun. You don't necessarily pull it out of his hand, but you guys are now kind of having a gun tug of war.
Okay, also just to maintain my cover, I'm going to shout, "Don't shoot, that's my friend!"
Okay.
Just on the off chance he doesn't see me as overtly hostile.
Sure. Okay. Now it looks like it's Sienna's turn.
Okay, so I have no such qualms about killing people, so I'm just gonna pull out my pistol and shoot the guard that I'm standing right next to.
Okay. Go ahead and roll shooting.
That is an 11.
That is going to hit. Go ahead and roll 2d6 for your damage.
10.
Yeah, this guard, you hit him in the arm, and he immediately lets go of the gun. And as a consequence of that, Sketch ends up falling to the ground with the gun in his hands, and the guard is now holding his arm. Yes, exactly. And now it is Janet's turn.
So I'm in a bit of a dilemma here because I just realized that I was in nurse mode, which means that I wouldn't produce a weapon without rolling to change.
Okay.
So I don't want to retcon it, but what I am going to say is that maybe until I succeed in entering my combat protocol mode,
You can't pull the trigger or anything.
I can't try to do lethal damage.
That's fine.
So my first roll is going to be to try to
Hold on. I
enter
just
that mode.
want to say the ramifications of this. This means that if you were actually nursing a child, you would pull a gun on them, you just wouldn't kill them.
Sounds like a good
Which is probably why you were
Nice.
decommissioned.
Well, the reprogramming
has
you know.
affected my.
has affected both protocols.
Okay, that's a failure. So I am still in nurse mode.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, ooh, that hurt. And then I'm going to, again, try to knock the weapon out of his hand.
Okay. Go ahead and roll athletics.
Double ones. I'm going to use Benny.
Okay.
That's 5.
So you do manage to grab the gun, but you have not wrestled it away from him or knocked it to the ground. It's just like you're now in a gun tug of war.
Okay.
Sometimes those go pretty well if someone else shoots the person you're tug of warring with.
Mhm.
They
From
can.
my vast experience.
All right, time for the next round of combat. Janet, you get a 9 of clubs.
Nice.
The guard gets a king of spades.
Bad.
Quest, you get a 9 of diamonds. Sienna, you get an 8 of spades. And Sketch, you get a 2 of hearts.
Oof.
Wah, wah.
Okay, looks like it's the guard's turn. The guard that is tug of warring with Janet is going to roll strength to try and pull the gun away from Janet. So Janet, I need you to do a strength check.
Explosion. 7.
Okay, so the guard does not manage to wrestle the gun away from Janet. He can't even get it to aim in the right direction. So he stops. Well, he ends his turn without firing, I guess. The other guard, the one that got shot in the arm, is grabbing on his like utility belt. He's grabbing the radio, and with his one working arm, and it looks like he's going to try to call for backup. And a third and fourth guard, having heard the gunshots, are rushing over. Meanwhile, a bunch of the people in the tube station are actually leaving the tube station. They heard the chaos and they don't want to get shot, so they're out of there.
Is it like a panic? Like they're fleeing?
No, they're not fleeing necessarily. I mean, it could be considered that way, but it's more like oh, they know what's going on. They've been near kind of shootout kind of stuff before, and they just don't want to be around. So
it's more akin to like, oh, there's a fight ahead of me in the hallway in high school, where like you'll try to go around or backtrack to find a different route, rather than a absolute panic.
Right.
Okay.
Like a street musician.
Oh yeah. Try to avoid eye contact.
Exactly. And the third and fourth guard close towards your position, but can't get a decent shot without risking hitting company property or employees.
Is that towards me or towards Sketch and Sienna?
Well, one of them is heading towards you, and one of them is heading towards Sienna and Sketch.
Okay.
Okay, that's their turn. Now it's time for Quest Jenkins.
Is there a train in the station right now? You better
No.
not make me roll for that, because it's a train.
No, there is not a train in the station.
Let's see. How close am I to a guard?
The closest one to you is the one that's by Sketch and Sienna, and he's about, again, 15 yards away. The one that's by Janet is probably 25 yards away.
I'm going to go to the nearest guard, the one by Sienna, and I'm going to try and I'm going to do my pace of 12, and I can see he's reaching for his radio. So I'm going to try throwing my knife at El Guard, trying to make him not get his radio.
Okay.
That's a 4.
Okay. So that explodes and you roll it again.
Oh, right. That's an 8.
Wow. That explodes and you roll it again.
And that's a 10.
Okay. So go ahead and roll damage on the knife. That's going to be...
Normally it's strength plus D4.
Right, but because you threw it, we're going to use your agility die plus the D4.
All right, that's a 7.
Okay, so it is going to hit him, not necessarily in the arm. It would have taken a much more precise throw to hit him in the arm, but you do hit him, and after having been shot in the arm and then had a knife thrown into him, he looks like he's pretty much done, and he actually collapses to the ground.
And he doesn't get the radio, right?
He does not get the radio.
Yes.
All right, next up is Janet Mark II.
Okay, I have a question for you, Alton. Part of my character gear is a repair tool, like an in-arm repair tool, kind of torch item. I was wondering if I could try to render the guard's weapon non-functional by using my repair tool to either cut or somehow weld it.
You can definitely try to do that. The issue being, you're going to have to be careful, because if you do that, it's going to take the place of your attack. In addition, it's going to be contested because he's still holding on to it.
That makes sense to me. I will roll to see what my state is.
Okay.
That is a 6. So I'm now in combat mode.
Okay.
What I will actually do is use my torch to burn the hand that is holding the weapon.
Okay. Go ahead and roll fighting.
3.
So you definitely have control over when your torch ignites and not, but unfortunately, with the way that the tug of war is going, you don't manage to be able to get it, in a position where it's actually going to burn him, and instead it just ends up like putting some heat onto his armor, which is designed to deal with, high heat, high impact situations. Now it is Sienna's turn.
Okay. Did you say there was another guard walking towards us?
Yes.
About how far away are they?
This guard is about 20 yards away, beyond where you were.
Okay.
So that's about 10 tabletop inches.
Okay, cool. Well, then I will just roll to shoot him. That is a 7.
Okay. Go ahead and roll damage. That should be 2d6, I believe.
Mm-hmm. 6.
Okay, so this bullet, you shoot him, it definitely hits him, but it looks like most of the energy of the bullet was absorbed by his armor, and he keeps coming with his weapon raised.
Well,
All right, Sketch Thompson, it is now your turn.
Okay, the one that Sienna just shot, is he holding a radio?
He has a radio on his belt, but he is not holding one.
Okay, I am going to... So first I'm going to try to walk in the general direction that the crowd of people is walking, just because I'm so slow, and if we need to run away, I want to be like a little bit closer to that.
Okay.
My pace is 5, so I can't go far. And then I am going to try to shoot at the radio specifically of that guard that's approaching us.
Okay, so that's a very small target. You're going to have to get an 8 in order to hit the radio.
Okay, I'm gonna go for it. My short range is 10. He's beyond that, right?
He is at 10.
Okay, cool. So that is my shooting die and the wild die.
Yes.
Can I use a Benny on that?
Yes.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, well that's a 3.
All right, you fire your weapon and it misses the guard. Luckily, though, it hits a concrete pillar and does not cause any collateral damage.
Okay, good.
All right, next round of combat. Janet, you got a 5 of spades. The enemies get a 10 of hearts. Quest, you got a king of diamonds. Sienna, 4 of hearts. Sketch Thompson, 9 of hearts. So, Quest, you're first.
All right. What's the situation around me? One guard's out for the count.
Yeah, one guard's down for the count. The guard by Janet is still playing a gun tug of war. Sienna has just fired at another guard that is farther away from you still. And then there is one more guard approaching Janet.
Well, I think first things first, I got to pick up my knife. And I'm going to call for everybody. Come on, guys, let's get out of here.
So are you using that as like a motivational thing to help them?
We got what we're here for. We don't, because these corporations have like unlimited people they can throw at us. So breaking contact is going to be a good idea.
Cool. And is that all you want to do?
Yeah, that's all I can do. I assume that's my 2.
You could grab the officer's gun.
Yeah, I'll grab his gun. Okay.
And you've got one major action left that you can do. Shouting is not really considered an action that takes up any of your combat time.
Well, I have a gun now. I might as well start shooting, right?
I mean, you're welcome to.
It's foreboding. Accidentally shoots all team members.
Please don't.
If my 2 didn't do that, then
It's like a Davy Crockett ricochet.
Not particularly skilled at shooting, so honestly, I think I'm just, you know what? I'm gonna roll, and I'm just gonna see if I see an easy way out of here.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna roll notice. Okay, that's 15.
So as it happens, you feel the wind rushing through the tunnel. That is the sign that a subway train is approaching the platform. You know, the wind gets stronger and stronger. You can tell that if your team can hold out for a couple of more rounds of combat, that the train will be here.
Cool. That's my turn.
All right. Looks like it is the enemy's turn. The guard that is tug of warring with Janet is going to tug of war. So, Janet, I need you to roll strength.
9.
Oh my goodness. You resist the guard's attempt to pull the gun out of your hand. And that's the guard's turn. That's that guard's turn. The other guard, seeing the struggle, not wanting to hit his colleague, pulls out his shock baton and closes to melee range and attempts to hit you and fails.
Good.
And then the guard that just got shot at by Sienna, he actually is going to draw and fire back at Sienna. All right, Sienna, that's going to be a 9.
I'm assuming that hits me because my toughness is 7.
Well, that's not the damage. The 9 is against your parry when you're at close range.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, well, it beats that too.
And that's going to be 7. Does that hit your toughness?
Yes.
Okay, then Sienna, instead of taking a wound, right now what happens is you take a status effect that's called Shaken, where the bullet doesn't actually hit you, but it comes close enough to you that it kind of is disorienting and kind of freaks you out. So in order to do anything except move, you're going to have to, on your turn, either roll to rally, and that would be a roll of spirit, or spend a Benny.
Okay.
And that's the guards' turns. Now it is Sketch Thompson.
okay. So Quest noticed a way out? Was he walking towards the way out?
So the way out I noticed was that I could feel that the train would be there in a few seconds, which is like 2 or 3 turns, like 2 or 3 rounds of combat. So really, I just kind of grabbed my knife, grabbed a gun, and then noticed that. So I'm not going in any particular direction. I'm just by where Sienna was by the guard she shot originally.
Okay, cool. Then I'm going to shoot at the guard that just shot at Sienna. Not aiming for the radio this time, just aiming for him.
Okay.
I'm going to use a Benny on that because I keep rolling 1s and 2s. That's a 6.
If you ever roll double 1s, make sure you let me know. Interesting things happen when you roll snake eyes. Okay, you rolled a 6?
Yeah.
Is that with exploding or without exploding?
Without.
Oh, because you rolled it on not your wild die, but the other one that's higher, right?
Yeah, I've got a D8 in shooting and a +1.
Okay, cool. So yeah, with the 6, you hit him. Go ahead and roll damage, which should be 2d6 for a pistol.
That is 5.
All right. So unfortunately, your bullet does not break the toughness of the guard's armor.
Okay.
This guard is lucky that his armor is catching these. All right. Now it is Janet's turn.
Okay. So Janet is going to level her revolver at the guard and say, "Let go."
Go ahead and roll intimidation.
It's a 2.
All right. Unfortunately, the guard is not willing to let go just because you point a gun at him and say to let go. He keeps wrestling with you. Are you going to try to keep pulling on the gun?
Nope, I'm going to shoot him.
Okay, you let go of the gun and he stumbles back and you shoot. Go ahead and roll shooting.
I'm going to use a Benny on that.
Okay.
I rolled a 3. So I'm down to 3 bennies now, just to update you.
Cool. Thanks for keeping track of your bennies.
Okay, that's a 5.
All right, that's going to hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
8 damage. Oh, sorry, plus 1.
9. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So your bullet is actually gonna go, and it just like you shoot him center of mass, and the bullet just like plows right through his armor, and he drops to the ground.
I'm gonna blow the smoke off the barrel, and then I'm gonna look at the rest of my team.
Unfortunately, Janet Mark II does not have lungs and so can't blow the smoke off of the barrel. So when she holds the gun to her like mannequin lips and makes the sound, like the sound comes out, but the smoke just keeps drifting upwards straight past her eyes and does not actually puff. All right, it is Sienna's turn.
So the guard that Janet just dropped is which one? I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep track.
So I'm like 25 meters away from where the locker was and that downed guard.
Okay.
So I am away from the group.
Right, but there's still like other guards that are...
There's one that just shot at you that's still up.
Oh yeah, well I want to get him because I'm mad at him. Oh, but I am going to use one of my bennies to get out of the shaken condition.
Okay.
So can I still take an action on my turn to shoot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to do that then. I'm going to shoot at that guard again.
Okay. Go ahead and roll shooting.
11.
Wow. Okay. This is a really great shot. So you have some options now. Because this is a good shot, you can either aim at a specific part if you were aiming, or we can see what happens.
All right. I will aim for his... I'm assuming there's some kind of like break in between his helmet and his like chest armor uniform.
Yeah, you can see the mouth. The mouth is exposed because that's how they shove granola bars into their mouths.
All right, well, I'm going to go for his granola hole right there.
Okay. Okay, go ahead and roll damage.
7.
All right, with a 7, yeah, that is going to hit him, and he goes down. Anything else you're doing on your turn, Sienna? Movement at all?
No.
Okay. All right, for the next round of combat, Janet, you have a 6 of diamonds. Enemies have a jack of diamonds. Quest, you have a queen of hearts. Sienna, you have a queen of diamonds. And Sketch, you have a 10 of diamonds. So Quest, you're first again.
All right, first thing I want to know, one more turn till the train gets here?
Yes.
All right. I'm not going to tell anybody because they don't need to know that yet. I want to pop a cap in somebody. Who's the nearest guard to me?
That would be the one that is taking aim at Janet right
I'm
now.
gonna blast him. I got a D6 in shooting.
Okay. Roll that and your wild die.
And a 3. It's a 9.
Okay. Go ahead and roll damage and add +2.
That's a 5.
All right. So you do place your shot fairly well. It just grazes the top of the helmet of the guard. Freaks him out pretty bad, and he feels like he has to take cover. But he is not injured. He's just shaken. All right. Now it is Sienna's turn.
Are there more guards for me to shoot?
There's just the one guard left, and that's the one that was rushing towards Janet, but is now shaken. He's dived for cover behind like a newspaper vending machine kind of a thing, and he's probably 25 to 30 tabletop inches away.
Okay.
So about half a football field from you, Sienna.
I'm just going to see if I can shoot at the newspaper stand.
Okay, go ahead and roll with a -2 to your shooting because it's a pretty long shot.
5.
Okay, you still managed to engage your target pretty successfully. Go ahead and roll damage.
8.
So by aiming at the newspaper stand, you have just shot the newspaper stand, which has blasted a bunch of, they're not really newspapers, they're more like disposable kind of iPad type of a thing that has the news on them. And you've just blasted circuit board parts everywhere, and your bullet actually goes through the newspaper stand and hits the guard that was cowering behind it with all of this circuit board shrapnel, and he's out of the fight. All right. It would be the guard's turn, but there are none of them left to act. However, if you guys look around, you may notice that there are security cameras recording what's going on.
I look up at one, wink, and do a little finger guns at it.
Okay.
Are you going to do the same thing so that you can keep up with Mustache Man?
I'm curious, is Quest still holding a gun? So does he do one finger gun and one real gun?
Yes, of course.
Can I roll to shoot at the camera and see if I damage it enough to take it out of commission?
You can. And the train is now arriving. So you hear the screech of the metal and the jet engine spinning down as the tube train kind of slides into the station.
Come on, guys. Let's get out of here.
Okay, I'm going to start running toward the train, and I'm going to put my revolver back into my bottle warming compartment.
With my general knowledge of the world, how likely would I think it be that I can sneak onto a train without paying?
A very, very likely everyone does it.
Sweet.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to run
Yeah,
for the
run
train.
for the
Oh,
train.
also, I put my gun away.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah, I guess I will too.
I mean, I'm 14. I can't be out with a gun in public.
Is there a law against carrying a gun when you're 14?
It's just not wise.
I mean, some of the local gangsters might get a good laugh out of it.
Kind of get laughed at.
Are you sure?
Yeah, nobody wants that. I'm assuming that I make it to the train. Am I having to push through the crowd?
Yeah, so as the doors spill open, as the doors like slide open, people are like spilling out of the out of the tube train onto the platform. So if you want to be trying to shove your way into the train, I am going to need you to roll either athletics or strength.
8.
All right, Janet, you've made it into the train.
I'm also going to try to do that.
I think we should get a bonus on this because Janet is leading the way, so she's kind of splitting the crowd.
Mm.
Yeah. Is that a mega explosion I hear?
It sure is.
Stop. Okay.
I just got a
It's
23
everywhere.
with a D4.
Sketch Thompson basically does like a slide tackle and like slides his body between the like open legs of like 3 or 4 people in a row.
Falcon kick.
Yeah, and basically Falcon kicks his way onto the train.
I'm just going to say that he's on so much adrenaline from having shot someone for the first time that he's just out of there.
In a similar manner to a character whose name might rhyme with Rapton
Krauken?
Krelkin. Yes.
Well, I mean, if we're doing a true letter reversal, it would be Fapton Calkin.
Captain Kalkin. I like it.
Wasn't he in Home Alone?
I don't know. I think that's about as dirty as what was the sausage one that we had earlier?
Bratwurst.
Bratwurst.
Brach. It's about as bad as Brach.
Or how about a
Frapped.
homeless man asking if we want to see his baton?
Fapton Kalkin.
He also a master builder.
He is a master builder.
Fapton is an avid master builder.
In any case, Sketch Thompson makes it onto the train.
Nice.
Oh, jeez.
So
All right.
Quest and Sienna still need to make it onto the train.
All right. I have a D4 in strength, which I should probably change at a future point.
Hey, so do I.
I rolled a 3.
Quest is having some trouble pushing his way through the crowd. His cape keeps getting caught on people who are moving in the opposite direction, and it's just it's not going super well for him.
You know what? I'm gonna try and use my disgustingly high charisma. I'm just gonna start saying "excuse me, pardon me" to everybody I come by.
Okay.
Just get the right dice.
Yeah, roll persuasion, and if you succeed, then we can give you a +1 if it's a regular success, and more if it's raised.
Oh my gosh! All right, that's a 28 plus 2. So
Oh my heck!
That's a 30 charisma roll.
Wow.
30
Kill
persuasion.
everyone.
Yeah, as soon as you say "excuse me, pardon me, excuse me," everybody, it's like Moses and the Red Sea. The people just like get out of your way, and you make and you just like stroll onto the train. They're not even snagging on your cape anymore. It's in full flutter mode.
Oh, beautiful.
Am I allowed to take advantage of that and just walk right after him without having to roll a strength roll?
Absolutely.
All right, I do that.
All right, guys. Well, we got what we came here for. It's
good.
in an undisclosed location. Not my butt. It's not in my butt.
And with that, the doors slide closed and the train begins to move. As the platform disappears behind you, you see guards starting to swarm into the tunnel. Clearly, a con artist, a rogue robot, a femme fatale, and a dangerous amateur adventurer were too much for the local team to deal with. One of the pitfalls of success, though, is the notoriety that can accompany it. We want to thank our listeners and invite you all to follow us at Choose a Choice RPG on Facebook or at cac.rpg on Instagram. We post memes and updates there. Please leave us a review wherever you listen to this podcast, and we'll see you next time on Choose a Choice.